nobody, including me, likes to be misled by a supposed salesperson. So I am a self-employed individual. Specifically, I am a licensed real estate agent. And real estate agents who are watching this will know, and other people in other industries may know, but for sure, real estate agents will know that self-employed individuals get targeted by licensed health insurance advisors across the country. And because they know that if somebody is self-employed, that means they typically wouldn't qualify for a health insurance plan through their employer. And so they typically have to go through other means, either going directly to through a carrier like Blue Cross Blue Shield, something like that, and paying directly, or they might have to go through the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare, to get a plan. And obviously, there's different underwriting requirements, there's different things. And so this person texted me, and I get multiple text solicitations from health insurance people all the time referencing, hey, I've got special plans for self-employed individuals, yada, yada, yada. And so this young lady reached out to me, I don't know, like within the last 24 to 48 hours or whatever. And she's like, hey, I specialize in helping self-employed people with health insurance. And she's like, the rates have just been adjusted, implying like I can get a better rate now than I would have been able to before. I'm not sure whether or not that's true. I'll just assume that it is. But some of the other things I'm going to tell you are not true. And so I said, okay, do you? She specifically said, before I responded with anything, she specifically texted me saying that she customizes health insurance plans for individuals because she realizes that it's not, health insurance isn't a one size fits all situation. And on the surface, that sounded like a very warm opening. I appreciated the approach on the surface, but the reality is I suspected that it wasn't 100% true. And when I questioned her on it, she stood by it and said, no, this is true. This is what it is. And I'm like, as far as I know, health insurance plans cannot be altered. I don't mean that somebody can't have one plan and then pick another, or they can't pick from a menu of plans and pick those specific plans. I don't mean that they can't do that. What I specifically mean is that I don't think they can take a plan and take what they want and leave the rest out of that plan, or add on to it something that isn't already on that plan. Like they can't modify the plan itself, as far as I know. But she kept saying, no, we can do that. We can do that. We can do that because you shouldn't have to pay for anything that you don't need, which implies to me that I also should be able to get something I do need in that plan if it's not already there, meaning I could add to it. So the implication was that I could add or take away. And then I also said, okay, is there medical underwriting involved? And she said, depending on the plan, there could be, right? She's like, I would just need to know more about your situation. And, it's like on one hand, you say you customize plans. You texted me saying you customize plans, but now I'm sort of asking you for more information, and you're saying that now you're like, well, it depends on underwriters. Well, underwriters can turn down anything. So why would you tell me that you can do something and now you're starting to backtrack? And then I just said, well, and she's like, okay, she's like, whatever. And she said, well, I can help people with the Affordable Care Act, or I can help people with private plans and, all that kind of stuff. And she did say the plans could be modified. And when I asked her about the plans being modified, she said, okay, the Affordable Care Act plans can't be modified, but she said that private health insurance plans can be modified. So again, I take that to mean that if I got a private health insurance plan, I could get covered regardless of whether or not I have a pre-existing condition and what that pre-existing condition is, because she said it can be tailored, and she said she tailors the plans. So I'm going down this rabbit hole with her, And then I'm like, and she's like, okay, I can send you over some, she even says I can send you over some quotes, like a range, a price range. I can send you over like a range of, okay, this is what the coverage would be, and this is roughly what you'd pay. And I'm like, and she's like, it would just take a minute or two. So I didn't say yes to that, but I'm texting her, to get more clarification because I'm sensing that I might not qualify for this, but I don't know because she's literally acting like this is a blanket thing that applies to all people, especially when she's, again, keeps saying tailor coverage, tailor coverage. And I told her, I said, as I understand it, I said, you're the expert, but as I understand it, I don't think you can tailor private plans. And she's like, well, you learn something new every day. You can. And I'm like, okay. So then I flat out asked her, right? Like, and then she's like, okay, let's get on a call. And I'm like, okay, I'm not ready for that because I still think that she can't help me. And then I told her about the condition I have. I said, okay, can you confirm for me that with a private health insurance plan that you offer, that the condition I have, which is called hydrocephalus, is going to be covered? And then she's like, well, do you take any treatment or medication for it? And I'm like, well, I didn't say I don't take, I said no medication. I said, I have a VP shunt. And so, anybody, even if she doesn't know what that is, whether she doesn't know what a shunt is or she doesn't know what hydrocephalus is, all she's got to do is look that up in her system that allows her to see whether or not like certain conditions are covered or not. And I mean, really, like I've had this conversation before with health insurance professionals. So this is not my first rodeo, but I'm trying to give her the opportunity to correct herself. And so I'm like, okay, can this be covered? And she's like, I'm like, I don't take any medications and I have a VP shunt. She's like, and what else is done with it? Like, and I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's like, well, what else does the doctor tell you to do? And I'm like, nothing. And then she's like, all right, then you're good. Like implying, all right, then we can cover you. And then I say, okay, send me over some plans. And then she hits me with, okay, well, I'm going to have the licensed agent reach out to you and go over this with you. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm in sales. I'm an inside sales associate for a real estate team. So I'm well versed in the idea that there could be a frontline person giving me a sales pitch and then them connecting me with somebody else who's licensed and more experienced to actually give me a quote or whatever it is. But she said she was going to provide the quotes. Like she said she was going to provide the quotes. She was going to do this. She can do this. She customizes plans. She didn't say they. She didn't say the agent I work for. And so I don't, as a real estate agent, I don't do that. I tell people my role. I'm like, hey, my partner and I can come out and let you know what your home is worth, things like that. But she was saying that she could do it. And then, and I'm just thinking, and then she's like, okay, well, I got to connect you with the licensed agent. And I'm like, well, you just told me that you could. You said you could provide a customized private health insurance plan that covers all the things that I have, including my pre-existing condition, hydrocephalus, that's treated with a VP shunt. Like, because you were asking those questions. You were obviously asking qualifying questions. Like, so she's attempting to do some, like, medical underwriting with me already. Like, she's saying, hey, I thought there wasn't going to be any medical underwriting depending on whatever. And I thought that, okay, well, you can customize plans around medical underwriting based on what she was telling me. And then she's like, well, I have to transfer you to so-and-so. And I knew that I suspected that the information that she had given me was not 100% correct. And I asked her follow-up questions. And part of the reason I asked her follow-up questions is because I wanted more information, but I was also trying to see, is she going to back off what she's saying? Because I suspect that it's not 100% true. And I didn't want to call her a liar, but I wanted to just give her an opportunity to like walk some of the statements back that I suspected weren't true. And I said, are you sure this is the case? And she's like, yes, I'm sure this is the case. I'm like, okay. And then I got connected with uh, the agent, and it turns out that the licensed agent, the licensed health insurance advisor, happens to be her husband. And she told me that. She's like, listen, I'm going to have the agent reach out to you. And when I asked what the agent's name was, she's like, it's my husband. His name is so and so, and this is the number he'll be texting you from. And then to be honest with you, this guy texted me, and I asked for a business card, and he texted me a business card with his picture on it and his first and last name, but no company name. And if there was a company name, it didn't look like a company name, and there was no license number on it. So I asked him, I said, hey, like, what's your license number? And I didn't get an answer. And I'm saying all this to say, like, I'm a salesperson. Some of the people viewing this video are going to be in sales, and they're going to understand what this person was trying to do. And some of the people who are not in sales are going to understand where I was coming from. And the reality is, whether I'm in sales or not doesn't matter. Like, the information I was given was less than accurate. She's like, you're good with the condition you have, and I know that I'm not. I know I'm not, because I've been down this road before. So why she would tell me that I am, I thought maybe something's changed, right? But like, I know I'm not good. I know that you're not going to cover me with a private plan for this. And I know that you cannot customize a health insurance plan and make it something that it isn't. You just can't do that. But she plainly stated that you could. I asked her a follow-up question. She doubled down. I asked her another question, and basically she kept giving me answers that were indicative that you could, in fact, do what I suspected you couldn't do. And really, and when she said, okay, I'm going to transfer you to the agent, I said, well, you kept saying you, and you never mentioned we, so I want you to provide this. And again, I am a lead generator for a real estate team. I pass leads off to my team leader, and we do it the same way. The issue is how it's communicated up front. I'm transparent, and I say, hey, my team leader so-and-so and I are both licensed realtors. We do a lot of business in your area. We just sold a house around the corner from you. I was just reaching out to see if there's anything in the world I can do for you or we can do for you. I don't tell them that I'm going to be the one servicing them. I sometimes say we, because that's 100% true. We service them as a team, but it's really my team leader that's leading the charge on that. And so I just don't understand why. And then, so when I asked this, I literally got to the point where I asked once she had her husband who's licensed text me, I just said, okay, give me your license number and like all that kind of stuff, like, and whatever. And he didn't provide the license number. He answered some other questions, but didn't provide the license number. And I'm sure that this person is licensed. They probably are. Why would they really lie? But I know that if somebody asks me as a real estate agent for my license number, I'm going to give it to them because they deserve transparency. What I was also wanting him to acknowledge was that his wife was not 100% transparent and might have said yes to some things to me and my situation that she shouldn't have said yes to. And like, it's not like I was trying to catch her up in something. I'm not trying to get her in trouble, but I do expect accountability with salespeople who are reaching out. So I'm saying all that to say, some of the people watching this video are salespeople. And if you are, you should, I think, be transparent with people and don't promise things that you can't do. And also be transparent about who you are, whether you're licensed, and if you are licensed, what state you're licensed in, and maybe your license number even, that would even be better, what company that you're affiliated with or represent, things like that. We should, as salespeople should do that. And I would also, I do that because if I'm talking to a prospect, I'm expecting to build trust with them. So I don't want to lead with a lie or something that isn't 100% true. It's very, very frustrating. Like, consumers have a right to expect transparency. Um, you know, there's a way to market something where you're giving somebody like part of the picture, but not the full picture. I think that happens in marketing to some extent. I don't know that it should. Whether it should or shouldn't is a whole other story. But this really, really, really bothered me, and I don't know if anyone else has experienced this before, but we as salespeople have to do better. You have to be able to say, hey, this, and because the thing is, like, I wasted time interacting with this person. This person said, I can do this. I asked a follow-up question. I got another answer, indicating that she could do it. And then all of a sudden, like, it's kind of like, it seems like there was like a little bait and switch and maybe trying to walk something back. And I just wish that you would have been upfront in the first place, because every other health insurance person that's tried to quote me on health insurance, they've all said that if you tell a health insurance person that you have the condition that you have, which is again congenital hydrocephalus, like, it's an automatic turn down. Not necessarily because it's some serious condition, but it's just that the way that the health insurance carriers themselves, which the agents are not the carriers, they place people with the carriers, but they are not themselves the carriers. It's just their underwriting. So, like, but I thought, okay, well, maybe there's some situation I don't know about, because, like, now I wasted my time. I was supposed to work today. I was supposed to lead generate today for the real estate business that I work for, but instead I got caught up going down a rabbit hole with this person. So what do you guys think of that? If you're a salesperson, do you think that this person owed me more transparency? And if you're a consumer, don't you agree with me that you would like more transparency? Nobody lied. Nobody lied. There was a little bit of misrepresentation, saying that she was the person that was going to customize the plan for me, which can't be customized, by the way. And she's also not the person to even provide the quote or do the plan anyway. So that wasn't even true. But anyway, it just wasted my time. Want to know what you guys think.